First off, quick correction. Yesterday, I said I was reading an article and said that Stadia had 9 games. That was totally wrong. It has like 50 games. Some folks pointed out in the comments that I was totally wrong. I was totally wrong. So I'm telling you here, and I'm updating the podcast version of the episode. And yeah, I was totally wrong. Stadia has a bunch of games. Those 9 that I was talking about are just the new ones for just April. They add new games each month. April's getting those 9 added to their library. That's not the total library. Okay, so sorry about that. Amazon has delayed the release of the New World, their MMO, to August 25th of this year. Now, I wasn't doing a very good job paying attention to this game. It was apparently going to come out next month, and the beta was supposed to start in April. But they've delayed it. Fair enough. Their whole team is sequestered, as they say. I think at this point we all understand when a game gets delayed. But the bigger question for me, why is Amazon making an MMO? I've gone a little bit down the rabbit hole of reading the different write-ups and the articles and stuff. And yeah, Amazon, they're working on their own gaming platform, which we know even less about. But their first big entry into the video game market is with one giant MMO called The New World, which is giving me weird vibes. The longest write-up that I saw was by Polygon, which was mostly talking about the politics of the game and stuff like that. There were only a few details about the actual gameplay as far as I could tell. But on the New World website, newworld.com, they have a bunch of these blog posts talking about the game. And it seems like they're going in the direction of, like, the best example I can think of is actually Star Wars Galaxies. Like, it doesn't seem like there's distinct classes. You're kind of creating your character. You're defining them in this kind of more sandbox style, which is interesting. And they're really, really hyping up the freedom and all this stuff. It's giving me weird vibes. It's weird vibes in a few ways. The first, obviously, being that Google's entry into the gaming market was very easy to understand if you're familiar with Google. It's like, oh, they're making YouTube for games. Brilliant. Other companies have tried. Gaikai was doing stuff like that. There are services that have done things like that, but then Google announces, hey, we're doing that, and the difference between them and every other company is, well, they're Google. So if any company is going to be able to do a streaming service, it would be Google or Amazon. But Amazon, they mention briefly that they're making a little platform, and then they're like, but that doesn't matter because what we're making is one big giant game, one big giant expensive game. And I guess they're just flexing that the game will be on Amazon Web Services or whatever, so they don't care about server costs. But the MMO as a genre, I've really gotten the sense that it's just dead. There's no shortage of MMOs around. Final Fantasy XIV, WoW is still around. There's people that still play Lineage. There's people that still play Star Trek Online, right? There's people that play The Old Republic. But as a genre, like it's really fallen from the place it once had as like sort of the industry mover that it once was. And I just, as an indie developer myself, I don't make MMOs, obviously. I don't make anything close to that. But I just got the sense that the audience generally has more of an interest in like Destiny, Division, those, not an MMO per se, but like a persistent sharded world, where it's like, okay, you're going to the multiplayer zone, you're going to this zone, that, like Guild Wars. That just seemed like that was the direction the industry was going, not just because no one can afford to do MMOs, but because players generally didn't seem to be flocking to MMOs the way that we once thought they would. They'd rather have Discord open and be chatting with their friends and have their little chat room that way, and then play whatever it is they want to play, regardless of what it is, just online shooter, or they're playing Minecraft, or they're playing whatever. I should mention my favorite current MMO is the one, naturally, that I forgot to mention, EVE Online, the coolest as far as I'm concerned. That still exists. That's still profitable, but the way that they managed to do that, obviously, is it's a much less technologically intense game than World of Warcraft or Lineage or these other ones. And even they have problems sometimes with servers flipping out, and so they have to slow. Whatever. That's for another time. If you play EVE, you know what I'm talking about when they kind of slow down the entire the whatever you want to call it, that sector. Anyway, if any company can make the MMO to rule them all, it's Amazon. But I don't understand why they would do this. I would have expected Amazon to, don't you want to dip your toes in with making like an arena fighter or a first-person shooter or something, a card game? I don't know. They're skipping right to the most difficult genre that there is. And even if they succeed, like even if they make the greatest MMO of all time, how many people care? Yeah, people don't seem to be interested anymore in having the one game that they spend all of their time in, unless they're an EVE player, a WoW player, a Final Fantasy player. They are interested in moving from genre to genre, and then they have their one game, their mainstay they always go back to, like Minecraft or Dota or whatever that game is, Fortnite. I don't get it. But regardless, August 25th, we'll get to see for ourselves, and the beta, I guess, will be happening before that. I don't know when that is specifically. The beta was going to happen this month, and the game was going to release next month, so I guess the beta might happen in July? I don't know. They haven't explained that. Whatever. See you tomorrow.